Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's edition of the AHA Podcast. We're going to have a little different forum today because we're on the move. Advocate is on the move, and we got a lot of ground to cover. So, Jacqueline, why don't you start us off with a couple of the highlights for our trip to DC?
Yeah, we have a great week planned. I know we have our Edna rollout that we're all attending this week in DC. We also have some great activities and engagement up there while we're in DC, including we have a couple of meetings with MedPAC as well that we're preparing for. And then we also have an opportunity to sit on a Better Medicare Alliance event too. So it's awesome because we get to meet, I think, MedPAC twice. And then also we'll get to see a couple of the CMS leaders there this week too. So it's a jam-packed time.
Yeah, it's exciting. And then, Alyssa, you've got some more stuff coming up as well up here in Florida.
Yeah, that's right. I'll be at the Aetna partnership meeting up in DC along with you all. And then from the 26th to the 28th in Orlando at the Hyatt Grand Cypress is the annual NABIP Florida Medicare Symposium. We will be there as an exhibitor. We're table 31. And that's the annual Florida event for the NABIP members here in Florida, specifically tailored towards Medicare. So we're a sponsor. Definitely, if you're here, look for us. Table 31. We'll be there.
So, since we're going to be on the move and sending you some live updates from the field, I just want to very briefly go around the horn one time. Anything that's top of mind, share. I'll start with you, Alyssa. I like to go for the, success stories or activity on the agent care team. Then over to you, Jacqueline, for the client care team, and then you can bring us home, Jen, with anything you're seeing from agency or national partnership activities. Go ahead, Alyssa.
Yeah. So it feels a little bit like broken record, but it's recertification time. Or if you're a new agent, it's certification time for the first time. Maybe you're adding a new carrier. And so we're getting a lot of calls about that. And one of the success stories, not just for this week, but also in previous weeks, this happens all the time where we had an agent call us this week who was completely like at the end of their rope. They had been struggling to get into a carrier portal. They were going round and round. They had called the carrier help desk and unfortunately was not able to get to where they needed to be to get in. There was one thing that they had to submit. They ended up calling our agent care team here at Advocate. We have screen share technology. So when we can tell an agent, needs that little extra support or help, one of our people jumped on a screen share with them, sent them the link, got connected with their screen so we could actually see exactly where the agent was. And there was literally just like one little thing that if you didn't know you had to do it and check the box, like that's what was being missed. And we just, by doing that screen share, we were able to help this agent get that submitted so they could start the certification. And they were just like, I spent over an hour trying to figure this out. And he was so frustrated. He was like, I was doing everything but that. So we were able to help. And that's always a good feeling when you help an agent like that.
Yeah, I can appreciate that because I'm usually that guy
Yeah.
that spends an hour and then Jerica shows me the one little box that I didn't ticky and she does it in seconds.
Yeah.
How about you, Jacqueline? What are you seeing on the client care team?
Well, believe it or not, we're getting a lot of questions about ANOC already. It seems like in AEP. So one of the things that, speaking of agents, also going to be a broken record because it is ANOC prep time. And I'm pleased to report that on Advocate for Agents under Brand Central Express, we now have 3 ANOC letter templates that agents can use to communicate with their clients. And we also have our updated Medicare fraud prevention in there too. So I always say whenever you're mailing your clients or communicating with them for AEP, send them that helpful information on how to protect themselves from unsolicited, sales activity that's illegal and non-compliant, as well as ways that they can protect themselves from fraud. As you know, so that's up there now. Agents can update their information, download it, and start planning. So we're happy to streamline that for agents this year.
That's great. Yeah, fraud only gets worse. The attacks only get more coordinated and they're getting clever. So the best way we can show people is to forewarn them about what might be coming in. How about you, Jennifer? What's going on in the agency world?
Yeah, I would say AHIP as well. A couple interesting things to Alyssa's point. Please, if you're struggling with like a particular screen on a recertification or an AHIP, give us a call because every single person in Advocate, I mean, every single person does AHIP, is required to do AHIP and is a licensed agent. We're going to be familiar with that. And so we hate to see someone struggling on something so simple. And one of the things I'm hearing from agencies, like I have one of my larger downline agencies, and what they do to kind of incentivize their agents to get AHIP done is they host like an agent mixer event, like where they just get their team together and they tell them like, hey, you get an invite to this special event if you get your AHIP done. So, there's a lot of encouragement out there to try to be done early because it only gets like busier from here. And I think it's important. So, yeah, that's what I'm hearing.
Well, thank goodness all of you did, as we discussed last week. And this weekend, Sunday night, was the deadline for all the leadership at Advocate to be done, which we were already 80% done last week when I surveyed everybody. Well, so we're going to be sending you action shots from the road, and I want to just thank everybody. I'll go around one time, though, if you have any closing comments. Alyssa, Jennifer, and then Jacqueline. Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. Like I mentioned last week too, I think just getting on the carrier certifications, kind of tracking where you are, taking it in bite-sized pieces. That's always my advice to agents, one carrier at a time. It can be overwhelming. Don't get overwhelmed. Just knock out the AHIP or NABIP and one carrier at a time, knock out those certs because you definitely want to be in the know. Darwin, you mentioned we're going to be doing some live updates from the Aetna events and from some of the future carrier events that we go to, and we'll get a little peek in the box and we'll share as soon as we can. But by getting your certs done, you can be in the know faster because you'll get access to the materials. So jump on it. That's my word of advice.
All right. Jennifer?
Yeah, I mean, I'm super excited to be attending the rollout this week. I love getting little nuggets of information that I can share to strategize on a good prepping for the annual election period. We're going to have like Aetna's is this week, and then the second week of August, we've got Humana and United's. And so I guess if you work with Advocate currently, we're ready to have those, kind of start strategizing with on those conversations the next couple weeks. I'll be sending out any nuggets I can to particular individuals, and we'll be sharing too, like I said, like Alyssa mentioned, on our Advocate for Agent sites and also putting information out there about what we can share. So it's always good to be prepared. So if you can prepare early, then you'll be successful for this AP. We expect a little bit of disruption, but we're used to it. So it's the new norm, right? This is going to be our third year of some disruption. So there's still plenty of people to help out there, even with that. And I'm excited. I love this time of year.
Yeah, me too. Jacqueline?
Yeah, I would say too, on top of that, in terms of just staying organized and not being overwhelmed. I know a lot of agents during this time can feel frazzled about, how do I see all my clients? I have, 6, 7 carriers and clients across multiple carriers. As a reminder, we have an amazing CRM on Advocate for Agents that we update for you through our carrier reports that we upload in there. So please check that out and make sure you get familiar with that too. There's great ways to download your data, view it, and even upload there too. So it's a great time to get organized. And if you have any questions, we're here to help you.
Yeah, thanks, Jacqueline. I'm glad you said that because I've looked at all the different technologies out there, and I'm always surprised how much better ours is. And we don't really toot our horn very much on that. Our CRM tool is better. The new comparison tools are better, and Josh and the technology team just keep bringing it every day, taking requests from the field and making them real time functionality. So with that, got an abbreviated version, but more to come. So thank you for joining us for the AHA podcast. Thank you, ladies.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everybody.